My name is Marshall Duke, and I'm professor of psychology at Emory, and have had the pleasure of introducing films at the Jewish Film Festival for a number of years now. This is one of the best ones I've ever introduced. All families have stories, and all families, we find, have secrets. This is a story of a family wherein the older generation does not know the story, but the younger generation, having filmmakers among them, find the story and tell it to the older generation. If someone wrote this script and brought it to Hollywood, they would reject it as not believable. We're going to see a remarkable unveiling of a family's history that comes to two people when they are 70 years old. One of the people, Shep Shell, one of the brothers, is going to be here with us at the end of the film. And you'll get to know him, and you really get to like him. And you'll get to meet him at the end. People like this film, and I think you will as well, and I'll see you at the end. When you first saw Aida, could you describe what that felt like?
Well, when I first saw Aida, we had to decide how we were going to introduce me to Aida, because all along she had said to people in Montreal, in Saint Agathe, in Saint Jusette, that she only had one child, and that was Isaac. So it was decided that they would introduce me through pictures. And they wanted her to identify me in the pictures they showed her. And you saw them in the film, the Jeep and the fellows and the kids on the ground and in her arms. And when she came to the picture of her holding me, she says, "Oh, and that's my Shep Shell." So then Isaac came into the room and said, "Mom, I have a surprise for you. I brought you your son, Shep Shell." So I came in, and as you could see in the film, nobody had a dry eye. The camera people were crying, the nurses were crying, Isaac was crying, I was sort of crying. But I still had a sense of, is this real? Is this really my mother? What should I be feeling? You know, like a mother and child, that's a certain feeling, and I don't know what was the right feeling for me to have, because I've never had it. But it came to me that over the years, things had happened, and you can't go back. So I just accepted my role as her son, and I said to myself, I guess indirectly, I'll just treat her as my mom. And that's what I did. Hey, look, in the war, I did the best I could do. And in effect, that is true. But this was already 4 years after the war. But she was still in a state. And I don't know what I would do if I had to go through what she had had to go through. So you can't really judge her.
Yes, I've got to say that I was devastated when the movie revealed that the third brother didn't want to meet you. And I'm just hoping, is there any update that he's changed his mind? Maybe there's a sequel?
Well, we haven't thought about a sequel yet, but in that one, Isaac and I were going to do a skydiving routine together. Actually, think about it. Here you are. You're a prominent person in the community. You have your own children, your own grandchildren. You have your own job, your own history. And all of a sudden, two guys show up out of the wilderness and say, "We're your brother." if you decided that you would admit them into your life, that you would meet them, you would have to change your entire life history, which a lot of people would find very difficult to do.
So he chose not to.
And he chose not to do it.
You had mentioned in the film that you had abandonment issues. And I wondered if your mother did enough to help you overcome that. And if you had a whole new set of issues when your brother decided he didn't want to meet you.
My abandonment issues come from the fact of my birth mother abandoning me. I did not know that I had a birth mother till I was 16 years old, when my mother, during a very heated family dispute, when the family was about to break up, decided she would drop on the 16-year-old, highly emotional kid the fact that she wasn't my real mother. That was devastating for me. And that also made me feel even more insecure, so that when this whole episode with Isaac and Aida came about, I was very reluctant to accept it, to revel in it at the moment, as Isaac did. I was very, very, the word might be suspicious of it, because I'd been hurt so badly in the past. But it turned out to be true, and it turned out to be for the best, and I'm so lucky that I have a brother that it's not an issue for me anymore. When I went to boarding school, I went to boarding school for 12 years, from the age of just under 6 till I graduated. I would go for 10 months of the year to a school 1,500 miles away. And we were taught at that school that we weren't blind. We just had trouble seeing. So it was nothing for us on a nice, warm summer evening or spring evening to find ourselves climbing a spiral fire escape to the top of the building, which was these old Victorian buildings, getting over the rails and running around in the eaves past dormer windows and having a great old time with the ground only 60 feet below us. But we didn't notice that. And then later on, playing hockey with a tin can, you know, that's major danger. And I have a few scars to prove that shrapnel really does hurt. But that taught me that I was able to do anything I wanted to do. And when I got into high school in Winnipeg, I went 1 year to Garden City Collegiate. I decided to go on their track team, and I ran the mile race on the track. I didn't do very well, but, you know, I finished, and that was important to me. And my highlights, though, of my life in athletics was skiing for Canada and Sweden, riding a bike from Winnipeg, a mountain bike from Winnipeg to Atlanta, Georgia in 1996, and running a marathon in the Paralympics in 1988. I'm an Olympian.
We all had a chance to sit with him and listen to him and see the movie.